Universal Studios Hollywood, Courthouse Square, home of Hill Valley in Back to the Future, and Kingston Falls in Gremlins. Time travelers and little green monsters all on this same street? Just imagine.
Marty, it's perfect. You're just not thinking fourth dimensionally.
Right.
Just think about how many different movie characters have crossed paths. This is just one example. Today, I want to talk about another location, one that's been recycled so many times, it's almost like the center of the film universe. But first, a word from this video's sponsor. Ever have trouble falling asleep after a long day of gaming? I know I have. Thankfully, today's sponsor, X-Sheets, is here to kiss your sleepless nights goodbye.
After a long day of gaming, you need rest. And now you can get it with X-Sheets, the only LED-powered bed sheets made for gamers. Enjoy maximum nighttime visibility and supercharge your circadian rhythm. 13 million lumens of soothing night glow. Enhance your resting alertness with preset options. Now with Motion Alarm, know when you're awake. Available now at ExtremeRest.
Well, now that the cat's out of the bag, let me tell you the real sponsor of the day, Raid Shadow Legends. Available on mobile or PC, raid your way and build the ultimate team to crush your enemies. Choose from over 600 champions with unique skills, join a clan and battle massive bosses, or face off against incredible challenges like the Doom Tower. That's one of my favorite things about the game, is that it offers so many different things to do that it never gets stale. Like right now, Raid is celebrating its 3rd anniversary. They're giving free gifts to everyone, adding all new content and events, along with badass champions, artifact sets, and a whole lot more. There's really never been a better time to get started. And if you use my link or scan the QR code on screen, new players will get a free starter pack worth almost $40 to supercharge their game. We're talking free champions, Misericord, Tiger Soul, and Romero. 10 Magic XP Brew, 10 Force XP Brew, and 10 Spirit XP Brew. You'll find these rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only. Again, just use my QR code or click the link in the description below to claim your rewards. Griffith Park, Hollywood. I'm here at Bronson Cave. Now, unfortunately, the cave is closed. It seems it's because of falling rocks. As disappointing as it is that we can't go in, it would be even worse if a rock would fall on us. That would be what they call wrong place at the wrong time. But imagine if you were here when this happened. Just imagine if the make-believe world of film was reality. All the crazy stuff we would be experiencing on this very spot. The robot monster, the blood beast, unruly apes, a giant gator, the Cyclops, the monster from Green Hell, the Borg, the creatures from Munchies. Everybody run, run, run! Then there's the brain from Planet Arros, the Venusian creatures from It Conquered the World, a giant spider, the scorpion, the supervillain that is. Even Dracula makes home here. Then there's crazy cavemen, maniacal mutants, axe murderers, octomen, crab monsters, teenagers from space, zombies that are possessed by invisible aliens, and then evil space warrior Goldar's messing about, and then the Power Rangers drop by, and if that's not enough, these people show up. Looking at the cave today, we can imagine the cast of Power Rangers strolling through. Meanwhile, Rudy Ray Moore and company from Human Tornado are hanging out. Then there's the cast of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the cast of the Wonder Woman TV show, and then the Batmobile would have run them all down. It all happened in the same place, but in different times. Using movies as our virtual time machine, we can go back and bring them all together. All you have to do is think fourth dimensionally. If we were to go back to the early 1900s, we would see the rocks of Bronson Canyon being excavated to be used for laying down the streets of Los Angeles. And there we have the creation of Bronson Cave. The first movie, or at least the first known surviving movie to be shot here, was from 1919. It was a Western serial called Lightning Bryce. From what I've gathered, after the Great Depression, the mining activities came to a halt, leaving the caves abandoned, and this is when the movie industry really took advantage of this great location, using the cave's interior, exterior, and surrounding area. This location has been used in so many movies and TV shows that it's hard to count, but the number is definitely in the hundreds. Classic horror stars have set foot here, like Dwight Fry and Lon Chaney Jr., and also Western stars like Lee Van Cleef and John Wayne. In the 30s, it was home to the Flash Gordon serials, and the cave was even depicted in the miniature sequences. It was a frequent location for old-time heroes like Zorro, the Lone Ranger, the Three Musketeers, and Dick Tracy. The 50s was like the cave's golden age, where almost every monster attacked and every alien landed here. In the 60s, it saw a lot of action on TV with Perry Mason, The Outer Limits, and Mission Impossible. In the 80s, it was in the A-Team and Dukes of Hazzard. Of course, over the decades, it's been seen in almost every Star Trek series, beginning with the original. Then it was in several Next Generation episodes. Patrick Stewart has probably climbed up and down these rocks more often than his own stairs. Then it was seen in many episodes of Deep Space Nine and even Enterprise. If you look at all the different Power Rangers series, I don't even know where to begin. It's in close to 20 episodes. For a while, it seemed Bronson Canyon wasn't being used as often, maybe because it was too cliché. But in the new millennium, it's had a renaissance in modern B-movies, becoming more of a self-aware tribute. But of all the famous franchises that made their footprint here, the one that Bronson Cave is best known for is being the entrance to the Batcave in the 1966 Batman TV series and movie. Oddly, this is one time when you can hardly recognize the cave, since it's covered in so much foliage. But they come back to it in Return to the Batcave 2003. Batman wasn't the only superhero at Bronson Cave. Superman was actually here much earlier, in the film serials. So was Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman did a ton more here than Batman. Did she just make the explosion explode?
How did that happen?
The cave itself is actually quite short. In the movies, they make it seem like it goes on forever. Characters get lost or trapped in here. But in real life, you can get to the other side in a matter of seconds. You don't even have to go through. You can just walk around it. One side is known as the West Portal, and at the other side are two East Portals. The one I was just standing at is the West Portal. That's the one featured in Batman. I guess that would make it the Adam West Portal. Yeah, I said that.
Dang!
But let's go to the east side. It seems this is where most of the action took place. There's Briscoe County Jr., Mission Impossible, and Dragon Wars, where there's an entire digital army. The left-hand east portal was where the invasion of the star creatures took place. Also, Army of Darkness, the original ending. And then we have the Power Rangers episode, Monster of Global Proportions. Also, Forever Friends, Green No More, Crystal Nightmares. Okay, that does it. I'm calling this the Power Rangers Cave.
Let's go! Let's get him!
It was also in Mega Python vs. Gatoroid, Star Trek Next Gen Attached, Voyager the 37s, Wonder Woman Time Bomb, Carson City, Earth vs. the Spider, Teenage Caveman, and the Cyclops, where they put a big rock in front of it. Now, if you joined all these points in time, Ash would have never made it so far. The Power Rangers would have had quite a battle. Even Goldar would have been crushed by the Cyclops. But now, let's look at the right-hand east portal. It was known as Owl Cave in Twin Peaks. It was in the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy episode, Magna Defender. It was where the lost skeleton of Kadavra was discovered. It was in Cabin Fever, Robot Monster, Night of the Blood Beast, It Conquered the World, Captain Marvel, Return of Dracula, The Lone Ranger 1956, The Mighty Gorga, Tremors 4, and Unknown World. If we bring them all together, the cave is overflowing with cheesy 50s monsters, and coming to deal with the situation are two different types of rangers. I could go on and on listing tons of movies that show the caves, but it's sometimes hard to tell which portal it is, depending on the angle, the time of day, and the shadows. Matching up rocks is much harder than I thought. It's taken me weeks just to scan through and find this stuff. Let's hang out inside now. Here, we're looking out the west portal in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, also Equinox, Return to the Batcave, and the Power Rangers episode Different Drum. Now we're at the east portal left, which would be right if you're looking inside. Here's Palm Springs, the Searchers, and Army of Darkness. The angle can be very confusing. If you compare the Searchers and Army of Darkness, the shape of the cave appears to be a complete opposite from one another. So I thought one of these shots was flipped. I doubt it was the Searchers because the hills in the background match better. So I was guessing Army of Darkness flipped the shot. Maybe because they accidentally put Ash's metal glove on the wrong hand. However, the design on his armor is the same, and the shape of the cave in Army of Darkness matches all the others besides the Searchers. So my hunch is that none of the shots are flipped. The Searchers is just a weird angle with the camera being closer to the right wall. East portal right, or left from inside, has had its fair share of action, appearing in the Lone Rangers 56, Night of the Blood Beast, the Outer Limits episode The Mutant, Star Trek Voyager, Cabin Fever, and Power Rangers Lost Galaxy Magna Defender. With some of these movies, it's hard to know whether they filmed inside the real cave or on a movie set, but a large number of films were in fact shot here. One of the most memorable to me is the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where the protagonists run from the pod people and hide under some boards. It's kind of a precursor to many of the chase scenes in modern horror films. I bet you didn't know so many movies were shot here. You might have seen this cave more times than you realize. Sometimes they decorate it with stalagmites like in Enterprise, so they're always dressing it up or shooting it in different ways to throw you off and create the illusion that the characters are lost deep within a cave. It's all a testament to the great art of film. The cave interior was the aliens' base of operations in Killers from Space, and in Invisible Invaders, it was the secret government base, which is the old trick of using the real exterior but cutting to a studio. At least I don't see any logical reason why that set would have ever existed inside the real cave. Same goes for the Batcave, of course. It would be impossible, but it inspires the imagination. One of the best examples is Phantom Empire from 1935. They put a door on it, and when they go inside, it's this giant futuristic lair. Ah, that's the stuff I love. But the possibilities are endless. In the romantic comedy Palm Springs, the cave is what gets the plot going. It's a vortex that causes people to live the same day over and over again, like in Groundhog Day. In Time Trap, almost the whole movie takes place in the cave, and sorry to spoil the ending, but the characters go through a portal of water, and when they come out the other side, they realize they've been in hibernation, floating in space.
No, goof. Come on, I'll show you around.
Let's go back outside. It shows a lot of ingenuity how they've dressed up this location to meet so many different settings and looks. It was the mining property in Tremors 4. In the Deep Space Nine episode Shadowplay, it was the site of an entire village created by a holo generator. It was the agricultural Dakor province on the planet Bajor in the episode Shakar. It was the surface of Valo 2 in the Next Gen episode Ensign Row. And it was the village of Resik on the planet Catan in the episode The Inner Light. Most of the real landscape was covered up with a matte painting, just like in the Voyager episode The 37s, where the Voyager lands on an unnamed planet in the Delta Quadrant. Had they not removed the background, you would see the Hollywood sign. If you're there in real life, the sign is very prominent, despite it being such a common filming location and always having to work around it. But let's look at the surrounding areas. By the way, I have no idea what the Circle of Rocks is all about. That wasn't here before. It's not always easy to find spots that match. Sometimes you'll see things that look similar, but I'll only say so if I know for sure. In the Next Gen episode Darmok, Captain Dathan and Picard meet after being transported. But if only they could transport Catwoman and the Riddler from Return to the Batcave. It's the same rock ledge as it matches perfectly, only it's not really Julie Newmar and Frank Gorshin, I don't think. It's their stunt doubles. Sure, the real actors are actually standing on the ground, why not? So where was this? Well, after lots of searching, I found these shapes that match. and it's right by the east left portal, where the Power Rangers kept busy. Yeah, the Catwoman and Riddler could have been witnessing all this, but then they'd all be running from the monster from Green Hell. And if that's not enough, Robot Monster joins the party. If you'll excuse this awkward pan here, there's the first cave. Okay. And here comes the next cave. Yep, got it. That's a slam dunk. If we look over to the left again, we see this is another prime area for Power Rangers. Also, the Wonder Woman cast is running by. Put that all together and wow, that's some insanity. If you turn around 180, you'll see more Power Rangers action, Mega Python versus Gatoroid, and I didn't quite capture the right angle, but that same area was in the Star Trek Original Series episode, Bread and Circuses. Starfleet would have had to deal with giant gators, and if you buy that this is the same rock, then the A-Team comes riding by from the episode Trapped in a Diamond Mine. Also, roughly the same spot is where the Cyclops was filmed, and Invisible Invaders. Or maybe I've been staring at rocks for too long. When you put it all together, you get Starfleet and the A-Team battling gators and zombie aliens. There's so many projects that could be done with this. Someone should make a big panoramic painting of this entire scene. Or how about an augmented reality app that plays the clips while you're looking around? The whole thing is overwhelming. The Voyager crew is in the same line of fire as the Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger's up here having a shootout while the Power Rangers are fighting over here. They're jumping and flipping around, cartwheeling. Meanwhile, Mr. T is over here taking down some foos. There's multiple shootouts in Carson City and Crashout. Mega Pythons are attacking. There's giant gators. Dick Tracy's throwing punches. Giant Beast attacking an Equinox. Flash Gordon's in a spear fight. Guys are pushing rocks at star creatures. Cone monsters getting torched. Skeletons fighting. Octomen are attacking. There's a gladiator-style fight in Princess of Mars. Picard's in a knife fight with the Predator. Lasers are blasting all around. Rudy Ray Moore's blowing stuff up. Did I mention the Power Rangers? Wonder Woman's catching missiles and throwing them. Boom! Cattle are running through. The cave is melting. Yeah, the cave is melting. The universe is tearing apart. Interdimensional portals are opening. Oh, what's that? Wonder Woman's throwing bombs. Boom! 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 And there you have it, a whole world of movie magic that all happened in this cave of imagination. Recorded on film, cemented in time, and you can relive it anytime you want to think fourth dimensionally.